Okay, so today we're going to be tying a deer hair head. I went ahead and did the justice of making the tail and body first, since you can kind of do that however you want. I just went ahead and did craft fur for the tail with a little bit of bucktail, white bucktail. Then I did blue bucktail over the white bucktail to give it a cool hollow look. Then I threw some flash, and then I did a D-loop of blue and like a kind of like an ice white brush, and wrapped it around and brushed it out to give it a nice tapered look. Now we're here. So you want to leave about 1/3 space in your hook shank to give you enough room for it. I'm doing this fly on a Gamakatzu Stinger size 2. Just because it gives you really nice look in the water. It dances in the water really nice. It's got good hook exposure, so you're not going to miss out on any hook sets, but it also has good shank length, so it gives you enough room for a nice sized body while still having enough room for the head. So, to start off, go ahead and pick whatever deer hair you want to be the bottom. Okay, so with the color that I want to be my belly, go ahead and take a pretty good sized pinch of it. Definitely not too little. And we're actually going to start off with it on top. Go ahead and right in the middle of that pinch, do about 2 or 3 loose wraps, and then go ahead and fray it out on top. You can see how once I pull on it, it frays out. But since you only have about 3 wraps on it, if you pull on it, you can see how it kind of spins to the bottom. That's how you get it to the bottom while being tight, nice and frayed. Then you can go ahead and do 2 lockdown wraps. And there's your belly. So I'm going to do the head in 3 colors, just so it'll kind of show you a nicer presentation of the head on how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to start off the top of the head. I'm going to take the actually same color I did the belly. And there's going to be 3 layers on the head, so you don't want to do a ton here. And just do the same thing you did for the bottom, but we're not going to twist it onto the bottom. We're just going to keep it here. Then once you put those 3 loose wraps there, hold your finger right on top of your thread before you pull it tight. And what that'll do is it gives me a really nice flat platform to put the rest of my stuff on. Do 3 loose wraps. Go ahead, take your finger, hold it on top, pull it tight. And you can see I still got that nice platform. I'm going to go ahead and flatten out my black, lay it right on top. And you go ahead, do 3 loose wraps. And now I'm not going to put my finger on top of it because I want it to totally fray. Just like that. You can see I got that nice frayed. Don't worry about that flat bottom. That'll fix itself once we pack the hair. I'm going to do just a couple lock wraps. Then, this is one of the most important parts. Go ahead and find the center. A lot of people will do this with like a hair packer. I don't usually like to. It's not as easy to use. And now this is where we pack the hair. So we're going to go ahead and push it down the shank. Make sure your fingers don't slip or else you get a nice hook in the finger. You can just see how I'm kind of pushing it down, and it's going to flatten out the front here. Then we're just going to do 1 big wrap. Make sure it's on the bottom, not the top. Nice tight wrap off the bottom to bring your thread up in front. And you can see that's going to give me some room there for my next strand of elk hair. Go ahead and pull that hair out of the way, and then with your offhand, you can do the 2 loose wraps. I'm going to do 3 loose wraps in this instance. Then you can switch hands, pull it tight, and wrap it around the bottom. Now this is a very messy process. I have bad OCD, so you can imagine how much I hate it. But it does make the ending very satisfying. Don't worry about all this hair kind of getting crunkled together on the top or bottom. Okay, now that I got my front patch of hair done, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did on the last one. Go ahead and find your eyelet. This one's going to be a little harder since the elk hair is going to be right on top of it. Or sorry, hair is going to be right on top of it. Then you can go ahead, push all that hair back. See, it's kind of revealing it there. See how nice and neat? Then we're going to do that one big wrap. It's going to bring you right to behind the eyelet. Just do about 2 lock wraps. Don't need to go crazy with it. And you can see how it's kind of holding my hair out of that way and out of the way now. Don't worry about getting any hair under there. It's so compact, you're not going to see it anyway. So I'm going to be using, it's called a Derby Extra Razor. It's a really razor sharp little handheld razor here, and it's super flexible. That's how you're going to get your shape. For this fly, I'm actually not going to be doing a shape. I'm going to be doing just flat. So I'm going to start off with just trimming the top of my head. I'm going to kind of taper it up and back. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. The bottom, I'm going to go all the way to the back since there's no double color here. And that gives you nice hook exposure there too. And then I'm going to go and do the exact same thing on the side. Then, just for the last hoorah, I'm going to bend the hook back. Sorry, not bend the hook back. Place the hook back, and this what this is going to do. This is an important part. Take your UV resin. I'm going to poke it under the deer hair right on top of the eyelet, but make sure it doesn't cover the eyelet, and just let it sit for a second. What that's going to do, it's going to let the UV run down the shank and UV it. And just like that. You can add eyes, they're pretty unnecessary, but they are very easy to add. Just like that, you've got your deer hair head on your deer hair body. It gives you a nice presentation in the water.